everyone, welcome to my kitchen and another episode of Just What the Doctor Ordered. I'm Dr. Katie Benson, and today I want to show you how to make an amazing pizza. And you may think, well, I'm eating healthy now, there's no way that I can enjoy things like pizza. Well, this is an amazing pizza dough recipe that's actually made with almond flour and flax meal. And this is really great because I've made a lot of pizza dough recipes, and this is actually the easiest one, and it's on our website. There's also one in our Maximize Living Nutrition book, but this one's actually easier. It has less ingredients and it turns out really good. So this recipe is also on MaximizeLiving.drbenson.com, and you go to recipes and you'll find it under the grainless pizza dough recipe. So it's pretty simple. It just has a few ingredients. So the first is almond flour. You're gonna do 1 1/4 cups of almond flour. And this is actually almond flour that I made at home. You can just take almonds and grind them up in a food processor or a Vitamix. So you do 1 cup and 1/4 of the almond flour. There we go. And then you do 1/4 cup of ground flax meal. Same thing, you can just take flax seeds and grind them up and make your own flax meal too. So a good 1/4 cup of that. And then the other ingredients, you'll do 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. So I did about 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, and then 1/4 teaspoon of aluminum-free baking soda. Good. And then you just want to kind of mix all the dry ingredients, get that baking soda mixed in so you don't have any clumps or anything. And then we're going to add in 1 beaten egg. So I just kind of drop the egg right into the center of the bowl, and then I go ahead and just stir up the egg a little bit. Good. And then we add a tablespoon of olive oil. So 1 tablespoon of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. And then you just add in your choice of Italian seasoning. And about a 1/2 teaspoon, so I just do like a pinch of dried basil in there. I'll do a pinch of oregano. And then I also put a little bit of garlic powder in there. Same thing, just about a little pinch of garlic powder. And that's just kind of to your taste, whatever, how much you want in there. And then you just mix this until it forms like a ball consistency, till all the ingredients are binded together. And then while you're doing this, you want to get your oven preheated to 350 degrees because you're going to bake this for about 10 minutes. So yeah, just till it forms that ball consistency. And then this is a really important tip here when you're making this. You want to have parchment paper. So you get 2 sheets of parchment paper, and you're going to put your dough onto that parchment paper. So I'm kind of roll it up into a little ball here. Good. And then I'm going to put it right on the parchment paper. Good. And then what you'll do is you'll get the second sheet of parchment paper and stick it right on top. And then you'll use that to kind of just really easily, it makes it so you can spread out your dough without it sticking, because this is kind of sticky, more so than when you make it with regular flour. And this way you get it kind of stretched out. It says to make it about 1/4 inch thick on, for your pizza. So you want to kind of just keep stretching it out until you kind of make a good pizza size shape here. And this is gonna save you a lot of headache because I used to not use parchment paper, and this was a lot harder. And then it makes it really easy to be able to get it off the thing and everything. And I split some of my parchment paper so it's kind of a do here. Okay, and then when you wanna take it out, see how easily that just peels right off of there? And then you'd flip it over like onto your pizza stone, and then just peel the other side off before you bake it. And it just makes that super easy. So you want to spread it to about 1/4 inch thick with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and set this over here. And then this is one that I did earlier. So this is baked on the pizza stone. So I took it off the parchment paper, I put it on there, and then you pre-bake it before you put your toppings on it. So I baked it for about 15 minutes at 350 degrees. And it's nice with the pizza stone because it doesn't stick to it. You can see how that comes off of there. And it's a nice, thin, crispy pizza crust. And then I'm gonna go ahead and top it. So I also made my own pizza sauce because a lot of pizza sauces can have a ton of added sugars in them. So I just make it with strained tomatoes, like a tomato sauce, and then a tomato paste. So about a half a cup of tomato sauce and then about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. And then I sweeten it with some stevia, and then I put in some Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, and then a little bit of crushed black pepper and salt. And then that's what is in here. So I go ahead and I'm gonna top my pizza with the sauce. And another key with making this pizza at home is make sure that you get your dough cooked enough the first time around before you put your ingredients on. You want it to be, baked in there for a good 15 minutes to where you're seeing a little bit of light brown around the edges before you take it out of the oven, because you don't want it to be soggy. Good. And you also want to not try to over sauce it too. Good. And then shredded raw cheese. This is just a Beyond Organic cheese. Shred it myself. I don't buy the pre-shredded cheeses because a lot of those actually have additives that make it to where the cheese doesn't stick together. And so it's always just better to buy your fresh cheese and then grind it up yourself. Good. And then any toppings you want, put it on top of there. So I typically will do like some spinach on top of there, some fresh spinach. And then also like some red bell pepper, topping it. And then also red onion. Good. And then I always like to put banana peppers on my pizza too. Perfect. And then there's also some fresh basil that's always good on top of pizza. So the fresh basil. And then this is a good tip too. When you make pizza, I always like to just have a little bit of that Italian seasoning just to kind of sprinkle over the top of all your ingredients there. Good. So it looks good already, and I haven't even baked it the second time around. So if you go, I'll hold that up, you can see. And then what you want to do is then bake it in the oven for about another 10 minutes at 350, just to where everything is nice and melted. Your veggies are getting a little bit, cooked, and the cheese is thoroughly melted. And then you take it out, let it cool. And this is sure to be a family favorite. You can still have your pizza night. Just make your pizza at home, and this will be a great addition to eating healthy and still being able to have great treats like pizza. And remember, our awesome workshop that we have coming up is gonna be our How to Live to be 100 and Healthy. That's gonna be this Thursday night. That's July 12th at our office. And you can call, you can pre-register, we still have room. And you've been watching another episode of Just What the Doctor Ordered. I'm Dr. Katie Benson.